Hello, 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 and welcome back to the StrawHatLucas YouTube channel. It's me, StrawHatLucas. Camera's looking a little funny. That's okay though, I guess. We'll work with it, right? And hello out there. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna be reacting to chapter 1169 today of One Piece, of course. Joined as always by my right-hand man, my dude, my soul brother, Mr. Cube of the Red Sea. How you doing today, Cube?
What up, guys? Man, I'm excited. You know, like we had a small break week. You know, it's soon the end of the year, so it's good to get the rest of the flashback. You know, this flashback that I think it lasted the whole year almost.
Almost, yeah. I think Emu showed up on Elbaf in March, I think, or April or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we've been
Like
in the flashback for the majority of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So we had a Shonen Jump
man, I'm like
cover with Luffy in the center.
That art is not bad, honestly.
No, I really like it. I see some Modelo representation, some Kagurabachi representation. My boy Kiyoshi down in the bottom left. Let's go.
Do you know how I like Oda's Disney/Fable inspiration?
Whoa!
It gives me the vibe. What?
Oh, I just saw the rock spread, but anyway, that gives you the vibes of what?
Yeah, the one with the straw hats with Luffy on it gives me the vibe of that mural we see in Beauty and the Beast when they first tell the fable of Beauty and the Beast. You know, it's the same mosaic style glass. Yeah, that was the one I thought at the beginning you were talking about. Yeah, that one's a cool one.
No, that was what I was talking about at first, but this one is great. Look at Stussy and Newgate together. John counting his money.
Do you know who they made me think? So people have been talking about, the Gorsei style, right?
Yeah.
It actually made me think of what? The OG Doflamingo pirates from the Lost Backstory.
Ooh,
remember, a lot of them were wearing it suited up. Because if you look at the ones behind this, like Shiki, it's definitely Doflamingo coded more than, because the Gorsei is, yes, it's a suit, but it's usually like with a tie or open shirt, similar to Xebec. But the style of flowers, the extra stuff was very like Italian style, like the Doflamingo pirates.
Yeah.
So it did make me think a bit of the.
It made me think of that.
Doflamingo was trying to do.
There's a color spread too with the straw hats that looks very similar to this, where they're all in suits and dressed like mobsters and stuff. So like, this definitely made me think of that as well. All right. Into chapter 1169. I have to die now. How's the translation this week? You've already read this. Is it good?
It's okay. No. It's not one of those chapters where there was a B word like 2 chapters ago, and we both said, yeah, it's gonna be changed to darn it or something like that. Which was it?
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
No worries. This one is good. I'll let you start reading.
Yeah. 14 years ago, Gabon's house. So they have corrected the timeline now. Okay. Realm of the Sun, Elbaf. What? Captain Roger has a son? Seems like it. Garp told me about him the last time we crossed paths. The kid's done well to stay out of the Navy's clutches. Just before the fateful massacre. Wow.
Just 2 seconds. This validates what a lot of people have been saying, even though people disagree with what that Oda did say it's canon. This makes the Ace novel canon. Because it's a reveal you get in the novel about Shanks know about Ace.
Ooh, yeah.
So this actually this is the first factual proof of at least one of the side novels that Oda has written, or I mean Oda's team has released.
Is somewhat canon,
which is interesting.
Or has canon to it.
Yeah. So it's now the first factual that proves to it. Sorry.
That's pretty sweet. No, that's sick as fuck. Wow. So I basically have a little brother out there. True, you and Buggy were always like our sons, all. Who knows, with Captain Roger's blood flowing through him, the kid might just become the pirate king of this new era. You know the title's not hereditary, right? Besides, most burdened with high expectations fail to reach the top. Ooh, Gabon knew. Is that so? I think things are more interesting that way. Wahaha! Meanwhile, Ost Castle, Elbaf. Doga haha! It's Loki! Prince Loki! He's returned! Elder Ural has just arrived too. Foyer of the audience chamber. Your Majesty, why did you do that? He was just chaining you as you ordered. Why did I cut down that soldier? What am I? My body. It's moving on its own. Is it because of those orders? I'm simply forced to snuff out anyone in my way, mobilize the entire nation, and form a grand army of warriors. Could it really be impossible to disobey? Is it messing with my thoughts too? Will this last forever? Then the country will suffer as long as I live. This body of mine is a walking hazard. It'll be for nothing at nothing. It'll be all for nothing. The last 144 years of my life. Oh man. You men! Kill me now! Ugh. As if I'd ever let... I got a dub, by the way. I literally just had this conversation with Jacoby where I said, we were talking about who killed the men in Harold's castle, and I was like, I think it was Harold. And he thought it was Loki when he saw them attacking him, but they had given the order to kill him. And I said, nah, I think it's Harold under the control of Emu is what killed the men. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta turn my camera on and off and see if it fixes that little bit of a smudge there. It did not. This is gonna bother me all stream if I don't fix it now. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. That's much better. Ooh. Hurry before I'm completely taken over, as if I'd ever let Elbaf be enslaved. Your Majesty, what are you saying? Old man, I'm back. What the hell are you doing? Harold, it can't be. I really am immortal. I'm regenerating. Stop this. All of you, run! How am I supposed to die now? Someone help me. Oh, shit. I'll cut to the chase. Harold and I were both bound by the most shallow pact of the Holy Land to serve the individual they call the Great One. This is just the shallow sea covenant contract, mind you. But even then, when we're in range, we can't defy their orders. That's a curious power. Yeah, it meant we could only talk more plainly when we were away from the Holy Land. I knew it. You're from the Red Hair Pirates, aren't you? Harold would probably be happy to join the Knights of God if it helped Elbaf's membership bid. If he agrees, he'd have to enter into a deeper covenant. Is that a problem? God, look at Ripley in the back, just staring at her husband. The covenant of a full knight blesses them with immortality, with inhuman strength in immortality, my bad. They can also conjure abyss pentagrams, enabling traversal across vast distances. In exchange, the Great One's voice can reach them anywhere, so disobedience comes totally impossible, even if you're far away. Harold would be fully under their thumb if he enters that deeper covenant. Those guys have a boundless appetite for greed. I can't see them just honoring their word. I really don't think Harold should join. What the? Oh, conqueror's clash between Loki and Harold. Knock it off, old man. The hell is even going on here? How are you even breathing after all those stab wounds? Why are you trying to kill us? And where's all this strength coming from? What happened to you, Harold? Come back to your senses. They should let me voice Ja Rule in the dub. All guards report to the throne room. Now. He's gone mad. The king. We have to stop him. Did a fight break out? I bet Loki's up to no good again. Hurry. We must aid our king. Explain yourself, Harold. What happened? Elder Ja Rule, what I've done is unforgivable. My sanity is slipping beyond my control. Please, listen to me, Loki. Tell the people of Elbaf what happened here. Tell them about the guards I slayed. Let it be known that I've repeatedly stained my hands trying to make Elbaf a member nation. Spread the word about how I was tricked and ended up in this miserable state. They wanted to enslave our people as warriors for the government. This is getting spicy. What do you mean? How were you tricked? They never intended to honor my terms from the very start. My king. Elder Ja Rule, Loki must be the one to eat Elbaf's secret treasure. Please see to it. What? No one else can beat me with these godly powers. It was never my dream to see Elbaf subjugated by the government. I'm the worst king in the history of Elbaf. You must kill me and take the throne, Loki. Let Elbaf know what a disgrace of a king I was. Kill me and elevate yourself as a hero. I don't care about how I'm remembered. That's not important. The only thing that matters is securing Elbaf's future, don't you see? You'd go that far. I'm counting on you, Loki. You're the only one who can make things right. Oh, man. He's going full control now. Oof. You're not the King Herald I knew. Indeed, that herald is guard. I am now the Great One's vessel. There's a criminal roaming the castle. Seal the chamber doors. Wide away, Your Majesty. None of you will be allowed to escape. The truth of what happened here will die with you. Everybody run. Oh my god! That is violent, Harold. Stepping on that dude's face like that. Oh my goodness. Oda has taken up the violence here lately. Like, not in a bad way. Like, you know, I'm a Berserk fan, so violence has never gotten me. But seeing that kind of stuff in One Piece is always shocking to me. I shall deliver this country into the hands of Lord Emu. Loki, hurry! Damn it, why do I have to eat this devil fruit? Doesn't that mean giving up the ability to ever swim? And why is the old man suddenly acting like he has a totally different personality? You won't be eating it, Loki. The fruit is mine. You just told me to eat it, remember? You can't eat it, Harold. It would be the end of the world. Here it goes. I knew it. I called it since the minute we saw Ja Rule. That's another dub, baby. Harold stabbed him in the head. Hurry, Loki. No matter what happens, we can't let him lay his hands on it. Elder Ja Rule. I'm afraid I must return the legendary sword you gave me long ago. I need to eat the fruit and take up Ragnir. I won't let you. Oh, here comes Shanks and Gabon. Let's go. Gabon, is that you? Ah, Ja Rule, what happened to you? Don't worry, my helmet saved me. Please, stop Harold. You can't let him catch Loki. No matter how you slice it, we've landed ourselves in a real pinch. Harold, open your eyes. Look at what you're doing. Hey, Shanks, this immortality thing isn't half bad. I truly feel superior now. Damn it. Is there really no way to free him from having to follow these orders? This is the forbidden devil fruit passed down within Elbaf. Oh, and then Ragnar's coming at him. That chest looks familiar. I don't know why, but that chest looked a little familiar.
What do you mean? It's a chest with the devil fruit in it.
I know. But the design of it looks familiar. I don't know why.
It's a similar design we got, I think, for Fishman Island's treasure chest that had the energy pills.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Most likely, back in Ancient Kingdom, all those who had Ancient national treasure had similar chests. You know what I mean? Maybe symbolizing something of Ancient Kingdom. So it does seem that definitely the hammer has a will and is connected to the fruit.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the hammer itself doesn't also have a fruit within it. We had discussed this before when we first saw Ragnir in Loki's possession. I could definitely see that being the case. I'm wondering now, what do we think the fruit is? I'm starting to think once again, like, I know this would kind of be ham-fisted and like dumb, but with it being Oda, you can never tell. I'm starting to wonder if it's the gum fruit. Like originally it was the Nika fruit, but it's the gum fruit, and this is where Shanks switched it out. But at the same time, we know the world government has it, and that they were transporting it through Who's Who around this time. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
So there's some stuff that's kind of confusing me, not in a
Yeah.
bad way, but they led me more to like, we thought that Ja Rule at one point, it could also be he has memory issues, those kind of stuff. But now
Yes.
there's also Scopper and Shanks. Like I talked about, I'm sure they were there, and they have covered it up because of the way Scopper, the moment Luffy became Gear 5. I do think that's a Nika fruit for one specific reason. What Harold said. This is the only fruit that can stop me from being Domiroversi. And it makes you think of the Drums of Liberation, how Zunisha and Emmett woke up and said, "Thank you for that rhythm."
Yeah.
I feel free again. Those kind of stuff.
I feel free. Yeah.
The reason.
Thank you for allowing me to hear the drums again.
Yeah, and if that's the case, if Shanks did a switcheroo with everything going on, and then Loki saying, "I'm the sun god," I am wondering if they all came. Think about Shiroshi. She was aware of what Hody Jones did, but she kept it a secret. And we get it versions a lot with this Fishman Island, and so I am wondering because with what Harold is telling me, it has to be the Nika fruit. And the fact that the hammer by itself is moving around, which I wouldn't say devil fruit, it's either devil fruit or it's like Enma. It has such a strong will that it has his own personality. Remember, Enma was literally sapping haki out of someone. So I am wondering, if it's not more about it's the connection with the fruit, like the fruit, it's connected to the fruit. What if it would be? It's more like it has such a strong will that it's protecting the fruit.
I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? It has
Ragnar,
nothing to do.
It has nothing to do with Loki. It's just the fruit is literally whoever originally owned Ragnar is tied to that fruit so intrinsically that Ragnar defends it. That's interesting. Because how does Ragnar have a mind of its own? Has to have his own devil fruit, right?
And I went to reread the beginning of the chapter of the arc about Loki. And now I'm wondering if Loki's insult to Shanks was more that he's annoyed because how we saw that in that cover story, it seems that Shanks was on Loki's underworld and might have came to talk to him, right? A few times, and the way he said coward, I am wondering if it's more like a buggy situation where they have interaction. He doesn't really hate him, but he's just annoyed by his personality, so he calls him a coward. Most likely is that he must have asked to be freed, so he needs to do what he needs to do, but Shanks says it's not time yet. So he's calling him a coward. I'm wondering if we looked in the wrong direction. We saw it as him being spiteful because Shanks took him out. But that's what I'm wondering because of this thing. It's not just Ja Rule now. Yeah. It's also Scopper, Loki, and Shanks. So I am wondering if and I do understand what Harold is doing, they had to somehow cover it up.
I have to
protect
agree.
The legacy.
Which is something we talked about, hashtag Loki did nothing wrong for months and months, even in last year. And I think that is still relevant. I think that is still true. And seeing how many players were involved in taking down Harold, that's definitely true. I think Loki had to take a big bite of a shit sandwich and just kind of allow himself to be blamed for all of this, basically. I mean, it's pretty evident that Shanks knew the truth and Gabon knew the truth. And if you remember correctly, right before the flashback started, who was the one that spoke for Loki and said you have to hear him out? It was Gabon. And now we know the reason why is because he was there when all this went down, which we all, once again, suspected. It was pretty writing on the wall with that one. But nonetheless, that
and
is...
I might...
Yeah.
And I have something because I think we might have found the solution to Domiroversi. And it's What's the that? Timing of this chapter came out the same week of the chapter where we see Emmett releasing the rope of Joy Boy, right?
Ooh,
so we know Joy Boy had the fruit at one point, right?
Yes.
And we know his Conqueror's Haki disactivated Gorosei's forms. just like how it took both Roger and Garp's whole Conqueror's Hockey to hit it, right? But think of the disposition of both Garp and Roger. They're very Luffy adjacent. Literally, like, Luffy is mini Garp in a way, except what he does for pirates, Garp does for Marines. And then Roger, literally, they say that Luffy is like a copy of how Roger was as well as a pirate. So the yin instead of the yang, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if to stop the Reversi isn't just Conqueror's Hockey. But so basically, they need to be together. But all Luffy needs to do is release a burst of Conqueror's Hockey in Gear 5. The biggest form, the strongest
Nika's
form of Conqueror's Hockey as a word of liberation.
See, I said that.
This is what.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and this is what he told Loki, because we've seen the clash. Loki has Conqueror's Hockey.
Yeah.
Why? That's why he's telling Loki. Think about it. All the people there, he was telling Loki, because maybe Loki was the only one who would be able. He knows that secret.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows that secret because he's a king. Like in Alabasta, they pass on secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he knows that secret,
though,
the true power.
Yeah, because we just saw something about Nika's Hockey, actually, with that knot in the episode. Right? That's what we were just talking about. And everyone's been speculating, oh, he's recognizing the hockey because it's his from the past. No, that's not what it is. He's recognizing Joy Boy's hockey has the influence of Nika in it. Like his hockey does now. Like the hockey he used to split the sky. I think he's recognizing the previous user of his devil fruit. Not anything like that's me in the past or that's my ancestor. Maybe something along the lines of, oh, this hockey has the same will as mine or something like that. But I definitely think it ties more into Nika in his devil fruit than it does him potentially being an ancestor of Joy Boy, or I had said inheriting Joy Boy's will was probably like what it was, is he was recognizing it as like the similar will to him. But I think you hit the nail on the head there, and that was kind of like a little piece of that I was missing. Is it's Nika's hockey. It's the hockey of Nika and the ability to stop these things. Because if you saw, Garp and Roger both hit Emu with some Conqueror's Hockey encoded blast. You know what I mean? They both hit him hard with their Conquerors, and it did nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like, it damaged him, but he regenerated. But nonetheless, it didn't break Saturn out of his spider form, and it didn't break Emu's control of Saturn. I actually do think that we're going to see Emu's control of Gunko be removed in this arc, and that's how we're going to get the ties between her and Brooke. You know what I mean? So this would be a way for that, is if I think the first person to be flipped back, obviously besides the Giants, will be the Gunko. I think somehow Luffy will manage to break that deep sea pact and flip her back so that we get that backstory between her and Brooke. It's very interesting though, right?
Yeah, this all goes back to one of my favorite about Thriller Bark, is that the reason why Oars, the way he was acting with his body, he had the Gobo abilities, and the reason why Harold understands that. You know how in Thriller Bark, basically Moria tells about Oars, how Oars founded Elbaf.
Yeah.
Him and his people wrecked around until they found a place, and it was recognized as a place of bedded folks, which is similar to what Saul said about Elbaf. They just fight. They're brutes.
They just fight. Yeah, they're brutes.
This tells me that the fact that Harold knew about that is they knew that secret because that's what Oars was doing. Oars must have talked about that. And it was passed on. That's why he's the only zombie who tried to emanate the Devil Fruit ability. All the other ones never came to mind to it.
Well, think about this too.
What if he had it before?
What if the Giants do have the Gum Fruit, right? It's just the Gum Fruit, but they've always thought it was the Nika Fruit. Because if they just think it's the Nika Fruit and it's not actually, they just realize, shit, this isn't the right fruit. You know what I mean? After Loki eats it, kind of thing. That can allow it to be the Gum Fruit and allow the Nika Fruit to happen without the world government having to steal it from Elbaf or do a little switcheroony. You know what I mean?
My problem I have with this is the way the Giants talk about Nika and the Drums of Liberation, to the point of during Broggy, the moment they hear it, they know what to do. They know the exact same dance. Makes me think it must have been the Nika Fruit because of that. Because if you think about it, the Gum Fruit wouldn't have the Drums of Liberation.
Of course not.
So the fact that it's so deep in that culture, also it could be a thing that at one point both the user of the Nika and the Gomu were on Elbaf.
Exactly. That's my thought process with it. Is that it's not that they didn't. They think it is the Nika Fruit because the person who had it before had the property of rubber. They might not have woken the sun god Nika, but they had the property of rubber. So they must think that, you know, ah, man, this is the fruit. This is the one that does it. And it just happens to not be, kind of thing. Because, like, think about ores as well, with how long ores lived. Elbaf is older than the Void Century. Ores is not.
Ores is 500 years old, remember?
Yeah.
He was active 500 years ago.
That's
So
what
it
I'm
would have
saying.
been an era. That would explain the same thing with Harold not believing in the Galley. Because I do think Galley pirates were his crew. Because
You
of what
think
they said.
that was
Jungle
Or's
barely
crew?
heard of. They lived over 400 years ago. They were around the sea. And then
Yeah.
Ors was a group of giants wrecking around the sea. We
That's
find
true.
what we think of Palkhazard is revenants in ice. We find ores in ice, and that's how when Chopper investigated, you know, and analyzed his body, he
Yeah.
said that he died from frostbite.
Yeah, died from frostbite. Yep.
It could have been the
That is
same
wild.
event, except Or's body was taken elsewhere.
Yeah.
And the other ones were taken to Palkhazard, you know?
Yeah.
Or
Ors
it could be that
escaped
where that's where
mid-freeze and, like, just died later because of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so severe that it killed him.
Also the fact that, you know, yeah. So we're it is quite interesting when you think about all of that. Another thing that it makes me think with this chapter, especially with what Harold was talking about. There's something that's quite off. I've talked about with Tataras, right? Which, you know, I told you, if you look at one of the magazines and they show a drawing that Oda did of Chopper's fruit, it looked like a human Tatara, right?
Yeah.
Then you realize Chopper is extremely naive for being a doctor, right?
Yes.
You know, we talk about curses, right? And how inherited will, those kind of stuff. I am wondering, it sounds weird, but it almost feels like the Tataras got a fairy tale curse of being naive. And the giants of also being gullible. Because if you think about it, people could question King Harold's intelligence, but I was thinking the other day, I said, if you think about it, none of the giants, Doran Bragi got gasted by a small girl, and which basically, if they were there, Harold would have never taken the decisions because he had his two wings with him.
Yes.
Both Omoikachi, out of a small lie where they never validated it, they enslaved themselves for 50 years. Gladly, they chose it themselves. So I am wondering if there's something more to it.
Yeah.
You know, it isn't just natural that all the giants are that way. Which makes you feel, you know, with Emu cursing people, and now we know those stuff. Like I said, if Usopp inherited Nolan's will, what if his reason of always going to the lies is because Nolan at the end of his life accepted his fate as a liar?
I mean, that could be the case.
You know, it's like which is Hinduism's version of karma. You come back, your spirit comes back in the way it left. So think of Odin, the way he's born, 5 years old. Why? It's because of the former will of Odin was someone like Whitebeard. He stood and left this world as a Chad, never standing down.
Yeah.
So then that person wakes up with this crazy power that comes with it. That's the concept of karma.
Interesting.
On your past life. You know, so this actually made me think of all of that. Also, I'm getting a big W on my Garp and Rocks video because I did talk about Mihawk's speech being the opposite of emo. The closer you are to emo, and it's based on the actual Peter Pan, the harder it is to break apart. I did talk about that video, and Shanks does reveal that with the mark.
Yeah.
Which is, but yeah.
Every time I hear more about these contracts, it's definitely like a deep sea contract is selling your entire soul to the fucking devil. Like every single time I learn more about these, that's exactly what that is. You get immortality, you get basically a super duper steroid boost, right? Like it's trading your soul for power. Because I don't think that Emu. Let me ask you a question. I know this is very off topic from the chapter, but let me ask you a question. Do you think that Emu had the immortality surgery on them, or do you think that they're using these people's their souls basically?
The moment Ivankov said it, I don't think so. I don't think he got the immortality surgery. However, I do believe, just like how there's two devil fruits that can create shockwaves. The Whitebeards, the Gura, and Sengoku's fruit, the Buddha, the Daibutsu. But at the same time, we found out there's a fighting style. There's a fighting style, Hashoken, shown by Donsai, that is literally creating shockwaves, vibration in the same manner, just on a smaller scale. I think the same way as Garp and Roger sense what seemed to be a devil fruit will inside it, but it wasn't, is that whatever Imu's doing is adjacent to devil fruits. Because if you look back to when Shanks explains the mark, how it works, the deep covenant mark, the highest one.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is you come into a contract, right? Tell me if that doesn't make you think of a devil fruit.
It does.
You get
100%.
Extra power and ability, right? Immortality changes the body, and then you can create a summoning. You can also use summoning circle, something that affects the environment. Awakening.
Yeah. Awakening. Yes.
It makes you think of. I still believe Joy Boy is behind devil fruits, being in Romance Dawn, his fruit was going to be the only one. He is inside the devil fruit. I'm wondering now. I'm convinced 100% what Imu is doing. Like if Imu and Joy Boy are both players, compete against one another.
Yeah.
The parallel to Joy Boy creating devil fruits, all the stuff that comes with devil fruits, is the same thing with Imu's Zombie. I think it's just a different. It's Ghost in the Shell. The same ghost, different shell. It's
Different
like
shell.
you have
Ooh.
two different dials, the flame and lightning dial. They're both heat-based dial that they both use, but they use it in a different way. And it makes you think. This flashback has made me more convinced. Garp and Roger recognizing that it's almost like a devil fruit will. The stuff we're getting now with devil fruit. When Broggy was, I told you, when he was awakened, when he was flipped over stuff, the only people we saw faces like that are devil fruit users like Luffy in Gear 5 in a frenzy against Rob Lucci, or Big Mom and Wano and Kaido as well. Those shining eyes, those demonic mouth, and those, it makes me think that whatever Imu is doing is the thing that Joy Boy is able. It's just one does it in a different way. One is dreams of liberation. One is, think about it. One is all about liberation. One is about contract.
Yeah. One is all about concealment. Because when you are under a contract like that, obviously you are locked into those terms. You are whatever the opposite of fucking liberated is. You know what I mean? Like it's not enslaved. Oh, that is a good idea though. Like they have that thing in Japan that's basically like salarymen are the slave to the contract. You know what I mean? Like, so it seems that could actually be some influence to this. Ooh, I might have to do some research. Because if
you think about it, you know what this makes me think of?
What's that?
This is why the Shandorans have those weird spirals that we see in the God's Knights, like Shamrock, in their motive, but also on devil fruits. This, I think, Dill was right. No Chill Dill was right. Who was part of our former group. But what he said was the best thing. What if this is just a symbol of sealing?
Yeah.
When you seal something. And this could be one of the... So whatever Imu comes from and Joy Boy, they could have come from the side of the Ancient Kingdom that used to seal. Like, what if Dials is literally Oda's foreshadowing of all of it, if you think about it? One of them was using it to create swords with Iron Cloud.
Yeah.
One of them was using it for Tone Dial, Vision Dial. One of them was using for transport. In a way, you could find all those same categories, those different thematics in devil fruits. So what if Dials was supposed to foreshadow all the different concepts? And this might be, think about it, this might be the technology that the Ancient Kingdom was so advanced with. It wasn't science. It was literally paranormal science.
Yeah.
Use sealing stuff into other objects to make it more effective. Just like Ace in Alabasta having a ship that's fueled by his devil fruit. What if that was the advancement of the Ancient Kingdom? It wasn't like true science.
Yeah, it wasn't true science.
Actually,
it was wills. The manipulation of wills. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, we were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Because that would make sense also with Skypiea on how basically they were much more effective than the Shandorans were much more effective, able to face with goods NL and everything. And it's because they were not using like the science that Skypiea were using. They were literally, like we even got the flashback.
Oh, you cut out, brother.
Of Nolan with the Shandorans about wills going to trees. Oh yeah, and so we even got like the lore about the trees, with the wills that goes inside trees with Nolan, and that was with the Shandorians.
Yeah. Ooh.
And another group of people could be also the people of Wano. That would explain why the poneglyphs have souls in it. Sword have souls in it. That had to be, and we know that Wano was part of the Ancient Kingdom at one point, or at least open to them.
Yeah,
that could have been their technology. And the voice actually makes perfect sense. Think about it. What's the best way to make people forget that connection? if you don't even think about it, it's all about belief. You can't
It is all about
remember
belief.
something. You can't believe in it.
Well, think about,
You know? What if that's why the voice actor
with
happened?
what you just said, think about how things went with God Valley.
Yeah.
People don't talk about it now, but all anyone knows about God Valley is that's why Garp's the hero of the Marines. Whatever happened to God Valley, Garp saved the day. That's all they know. They know nothing else. Just that Garp saved a bunch of people on God Valley that day. That's all they know. They don't know about how many slaves there were, how many rabbits there were, how many gods. You know what I mean? They don't know anything about that. They just know that God Valley was eliminated, and the only reason anyone survived.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting.
this is what I'm convinced the devil fruits originally were people, like the toys in Dressrosa, like the shadows that were in zombies. They connect to a person. So I think whatever happened to the people, they're not gone. Their eyes are iced up. They could be. I've said this. They could either be in Laugh-Tale or inside the poneglyph, inside the red line, because we know there's like rooms of refrigerators. Like, because the devil fruit keeps coming back like the shadows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's
It makes
interesting.
me think of that. Like, that could be it. And that's why Delph would have all the information. It's like their knowledge went with them. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's fine.
That's fun stuff.
So we've said a lot here in the post after reading the chapter. I won't lie. We've barely said anything about this chapter, but that's because a lot of it was just confirmation on things we had known, right? We got the confirmation of how Harold's death went down. And if we didn't know it, we had speculated so much on it that we were ready to see it. And but I gotta ask, like, what's your thoughts on the chapter, brother? Final thoughts, rating?
Yeah, my just one final thought is, about my take about similar to how when Roger and Luffy spoke about their dreams and they cut out the sound to not us hear it. When Roger disbanded the crew, they stopped showing Roger and we couldn't hear any sound. So we could not hear the crew crying, but we can also not hear Roger tell them something extra. The fact that Shanks is being so open about his deal with the Gorseys to Gaban tells me that whatever he's doing, it is part of the narrative that the Roger Pirates are trying to do. It's quite interesting. That was my last thought. The fact he shared with Gaban kind of changes this thing that he's doing it solo.
And not only that,
so most likely the other Roger Pirates might have helped him.
Rayleigh waiting in the wings to help the slaves escape Marie-Joie as Shanks helps Fisher Tiger. That right there told me. That's exactly what confirmed for me that the Roger Pirates have been in on whatever Shanks' plan is in this whole time.
Yeah, this whole time, yeah. But yeah, and so for my rating, honestly, it's an 8 out of 10 because obviously we got the answers of a lot of stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, it was surface level on everything. Like, we got a bit of everything. I think the strongest part is definitely the latter part of the chapter. Where we saw all the stuff of Loki, because that wasn't sure. Like, did Loki take him out and then take the fruit? And it does seem that not only did he not take him out, he's avoiding fighting with his father to run to get the fruit. While one is stopping Harold.
I think that was the highlight of the chapter. Yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the chapter for me as well. Seeing Loki's reaction to his father acting like this, and like you could see on his face like just how distraught this whole thing is making him. He does not want to do this. We found a lot about Loki in these past few chapters that I was kind of worried we weren't going to get in this flashback. Like, we found out how much he did care for Ida and how that was his real mom. He did not care for his birth mom. So I've really liked this almost humanization of Loki. They didn't give him a full redemption like they usually do in a character's backstory, but they gave him enough that you understand exactly why Loki acts the way he does. And I think that's brilliant on Oda's part. I do have to say, though, I think this chapter is just a 7.5 flat, maybe a 7 even. It's mostly set up. We did get a lot of good reveals. We got the confirmation finally of Ja Rule getting stabbed in the head by Harold. We all knew that was coming. It's a necessary chapter, but I think it's a chapter that we all expected to happen. Just we didn't know when it was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, almost everything in here, like, you heard me like 4 times while reading. Oh, that's a dub. Oh, that's a dub. Oh, that's a dub. Because like we all knew what was coming. one of the most brilliant
There
things
is
about
something.
enjoying One Piece week to week and being someone who enjoys theory crafting on One Piece is on the occasion you do predict almost an entire chapter. It doesn't happen very often, but it does. What were you saying though?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's something that just made me think. So would you agree that since we know in Laugh Tale that the Roger pirates saw, right? Jobo left his entire story, right?
Ooh, Jester, that's true.
So
Yeah.
So by that logic, the existence of Emu has to be in Laugh Tale as well, right?
Yeah,
If
of
it's
course.
actually about Joy Boy and the rivals, right? What I find interesting is Isaac's Copper cannot tell Shanks those details because he never was in Laugh Tale. So he's only able to talk to him about stuff that, he knows that he knows about. Is the way Scopper was clueless about the Great One. The one
Was
that they
he
follow
clueless, or he really didn't say nothing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I mean like clueless air quote, like he never heard about it. I am wondering if he's purposely cannot say anything about it because Shanks has to discover it by his own. Like there must be something like NL, if he knows about the existence of Emu, it would put a target to him and his family. Like he's acting like he knows nothing about it.
Well, it's
So
the
it is
way
interesting.
that his only response is, "That's an interesting power," or something like that. Let me go look. I just looked it up in the chapter. That's a curious power, is all he says about that.
Yeah.
And then he's just asking questions. He's not speaking on it. And that makes me think he definitely does know more than what he's letting on. But it's almost like he's taking in this information Shanks is giving him, like Shanks is gathering intel once again for the Roger Pirates. Well, the remaining Roger Pirates. It's definitely interesting. All right, I have one last question for you before we sign off for the day, brother. Lock it in with me right now. What do we think the devil fruit's going to be?
I think it's the Nika fruit because of what Harold said.
Yeah,
I did think before I thought it might have been the Gomu, but with what Harold said, they're gonna be one fruit that could sub possession of Domi Reverse, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like I said, I don't think that it's gonna be the Nika fruit, but I think it's what they believe is the Nika fruit, which will be the Gummu. Because it's clear that Luffy has the Nika fruit, but I think Loki will have the fruit that fruit imitates, right? Or that imitates that fruit, I should say. Yeah, what a decent chapter though, you know what I mean? A very calm chapter to end the year off on, because I don't think we're gonna get another chapter before January. Probably about 2 weeks of break.
No, they might be, because the break we're getting this is
they release it
the
early.
magazine.
Yeah, it's the magazine,
It's
so
the
we'll
magazine.
get it early. We'll get it early because they roll it out still. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And since the week after this break week, the magazine will be back operating. It may most likely the chapter was supposed to come out this week, which I think it would have been the last one, will just come the last week of December.
Yeah.
Because because when Oda does a break, he doesn't send anything. When there's a magazine break, he sends it. They just don't publish it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how we've gotten chapters early and stuff like that before. So could be. So we might see you guys here next week. Either way, we'll see you here the week after. Nonetheless, thank you again, Cube, for always coming on and doing these things with me. I know we missed 1168, but I'm not going to lie. With it being Ida's death chapter and everything, I'm kind of glad that we didn't read it on stream. I was a fucking mess. I gave that chapter a 9 out of 10. It was super fucking good. But yeah, going forward, we'll make sure we're here with you guys. We're still figuring out the day exactly. It's definitely going to be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday every time that we read the chapter live. With my rotating ass work schedule, it's very hard to predict. But Cube has been very patient with me, which I love a lot. And my audience, you guys have all been very patient with me too. I know it's been hard with me not releasing Rambling Addiction, but life gets in the way sometimes when you're a small-time YouTuber. That's just how it goes. But nonetheless, Cube, thank you once again for being here with me, brother. I really, really appreciate you.
Man.
It's always a good time. And to everyone out there, have a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, whatever you partake in, I hope that it's wonderful. And I hope that you personally have a wonderful, wonderful night. Say goodbye, Cube.
Yeah, peace, guys.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.